Welcome to the channel and welcome back if you've watched before. Now before we get into the video and start stripping this bike apart, I just want to let you guys know why I'm doing this and how I got this bike. Why I'm doing it is I cannot sit in front of the telly all winter. It just drives me bonkers. I have to be busy all the time. Now in years gone past I've built something like this. So I built this Suzuki 600 Bandit, I think it was a 98, 99 hardtail bobber. I did that a couple of winters ago, really enjoyed it. I bought it as a rolling chassis, so it had nothing on it. I fabricated everything myself, did all the spray work myself, and really enjoyed doing it. And I had it for the summer, got rid of it. So it just says that I enjoy the building side more than I did the riding side of that thing. Same with this 1995 Honda Fireblade Street Fighter. I did that throughout the winter, tinkered with it, got it on the road, didn't enjoy it so much. So this year I want to do something that I've always wanted. Now I've always wanted a Scrambler. I love the Triumph Scramblers, the 900s and the 1200s. I think they look fantastic. But me being me, I want something that's just a bit more unique. And how else am I going to do that other than build it myself? So I'm going to try and turn this into something like this. And I'm going to do this over a series of videos over the winter. So you guys, when you're all tucked up in front of the telly with a cup of tea, you can sit and watch me make a mess of this. Which brings me to my little disclaimer now. Please don't look at these series of videos as a how-to. I am not a mechanic. I'm a carpenter by trade. Apologise for the noise. My neighbours are doing some work next door. I'm a carpenter. So I'm not a mechanic. I've tinkered with bikes for a long time, so I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing. But I am going to make loads of mistakes doing this, and I'm sure you guys are going to catch me out. So I hope you have fun watching me do it, but please don't do what I do, because I'm probably going to be doing it wrong. Now the first thing I'm going to do with this bike before I do anything is just to make sure it runs. Now I do know it runs. It was delivered, when it got dropped off to me, it was proven that it ran, and it ran fine. I wouldn't have taken it. But I haven't been able to test ride it up and down the road. The back brake's completely seized on. I mean, to the point where I had to drag it in the shed. So I'm not going to be able to go through the gearbox. I'm just going to touch wood and hope that's okay. So we're going to get it run up, warm it up, just check there's no obvious knocks, bangs, rattles coming from the engine. The thing with this bike, before I do anything, before I start taking the bodywork off, because all this is going to go, I just want to make sure the rolling chassis and the engine and all the mechanics on the bike are tight, make sure they're working, because that's all going to stay. I'm not stripping this bike down to nuts and bolts and laying it out on the floor and rebuilding it. I'm just going to get it serviced to make sure mechanically it is as it should be, or as good as it can be, and then we'll start doing all the bodywork and the fabrication to get it to look like the Scrambler that I want it to be. So really, the moment of truth, let's give it a run up. I haven't actually ran this since it came in a couple of weeks ago, so let's see if it... Oh, that's a good start. We're dead. Nothing. Oh, that's a great start, isn't it? Okay, let's whiz the battery off and have a look. Got nothing at the key, so I'm just going to take this side panel off, however that comes off. Oh, a loose bolt there. Put that over there for a minute. Should be able to get this side cover off because the battery's under there. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, we've got a broken side cover. Aha. Maybe the battery's flat. Ah. Well, that doesn't help much, does it? Let me see if I can just show you that. Battery terminals are held on with cable ties. I think the live's the same as well. So that, hopefully, is why we've got no ignition. So yeah, I'm just going to have to find some nuts and bolts for these battery terminals. That's no good. That's cable ties. So, and that's loose as hell. So I'll just get that bolted up and then we'll try again. Right, I couldn't find any bolts to fit in the top of the battery. So I've temporarily just cut those cable ties off and just put some jump leads on the battery. So, oh, we've got lights up on the dash now. The old-fashioned choke, and put that on. I'm not even sure how old the fuel is, but let's give it a go. Let's run her up and see if she'll warm up. Come on. Right, third time lucky. You've got another battery down there. Let's see if that works. Choke on. Come on. Well, that wasn't so easy to get started. It should have been easier than that, but it runs anyway, so we're just going to let it warm up a little bit. I'll have a look around the engine, have a listen, and see if we can find anything wrong. To be fair, it's been running now for about 5 minutes, chokes off, and the engine sounds absolutely brilliant. There's no knocks, there's nothing, in my opinion, that's particularly sticking out. But something I have noticed, I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, I'll bring the camera around in a second, but it sounds like one of the exhaust pipes is blowing, so that's going to need to have some attention. The downpipes are going to stay, even though the rear can will change, the downpipe will stay, so something is blowing there, but other than that, not too bad at all, really.
Yeah, something in there is blowing. I got a feeling it's this first exhaust pipe here, so that's going to need a little bit of attention. But actually, looking at the pipes itself, I don't know if you can see in there, but there's two bolts on the exhaust studs, which isn't right. You should only have one on there, and they're particularly long, so I think someone's had a bit of a bodge up on the downpipes. I think these have been off. Maybe someone snapped a stud or something, and they've just tried to bodge it back on, because this shouldn't have 3 nuts on one stud. It shouldn't have that, and the stud shouldn't be that long, so they're all going to have to come off. And when I strip the bike, I'll take the pipes off, potentially replace all the studs, and then put the pipes back on, and that should sort that blowing out. But other than the blowing, really, that engine sounds absolutely brilliant. So I'll just quickly walk you around the bike and show you the bits I've initially spotted that I'm going to have to deal with and buy parts for. And the first one is this rear caliper. Now, it's completely seized on, so whether I can get another one from Ian or send this one away to have refurbished, we'll have to look at that. But that's going to come off in the next few days. We'll have a look what's wrong with it, but it's binding. The disc doesn't feel that great either. There's a big ridge in that disc. So I'm going to need a new disc and something done to that caliper. So that's sort of one major job I'm going to have to do. Another job is whether I keep the bars or not, or I won't keep these bars. These will be Rental bars or some sort of flat bars. The switch gear itself is okay, but the brake lever itself is a little bit crap. That shouldn't do that. So that's broken. It's got a lug broken in there. So I'm going to need a new brake lever to go on there, because I will be reusing all this on the new bike. As we come around, it has been dropped before. It's got a big scrape on the engine case there, and it's got scrapes all up the pipe, but that doesn't matter. All that's going anyway. But it has got a new radiator, so whether that was because it's been dropped or just replaced, because sometimes you just got to replace them, but not bad. It saves me replacing the radiator, and the pipes look pretty new too, so that's one job I haven't got to do. I will be balancing up the carbs. I can do that with the kit I've got. There's a little key ring thing on here. Someone's put that on the choke. Don't know why that's on there. Again, that will all be looked at when I do the carbs later on down the line. But going around the bike, it's got a bit of a bent brake lever there. That can be sorted out. Whether I'm going to use that again, I don't know. On this side, again, it's got a big dent in the tank there. Doesn't matter, I'm not using it. But looking over the bike, even the chain and sprockets themselves look okay, so I may keep those. That'll save some money with the build. And again, it's been down this side because it's got scrapes all over the engine cases, and obviously you can see the tank there. So it's been down both sides in its past. Coming around to the front of the bike, it all looks okay. I've checked the headstock bearings. They feel all right. But while I was checking the headstock bearings, making sure there was no movement, and the wheel bearings, which, by the way, both wheel bearings seem okay, apart from someone having cut the indicators off, they're missing. Wires are there, luckily, so I've got the loom that I can connect some new indicators on. The fork seals themselves seem to be gone. Not so much this side, but that side, I mean, that's completely wet. That's been weeping. So I will be having the forks off, and I'll be replacing these seals. And at the same time, as part of the Scrambler look, I'm going to put some plastic gaiters on there. Probably spray all this sort of a satin black. But again, I'm making this project up as I go along, so we'll just see what it looks like down the line. The front brakes seem to work okay. They're not binding, but again, I'll be taking the calipers off, giving them a bit of a service. We'll put some new brake pads in. Discs on the front look absolutely fine. So overall, actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I say this bike has sat in a shed for 4 years. So I know the fuel's pretty old. It does stink, the fuel. But on the whole, it's pretty good. Not too much to do at all. But like I say, the battery, so if I bring, that's why I couldn't get it started. The little bolts that go in here, they're not in there. They was just cable tied on. So obviously when it was dropped off to me, those cable ties were tight. One of them's come loose, that's why I wouldn't start. But the battery itself seemed a bit flat, but we'll keep it, I'll charge it, and then see what happens. I'll just find some new little lugs to go in. The main change to this bike, other than the tyres are going to be knobbly tyres and it's going to have some gaiters and some cosmetic bits here and there, the main thing that I'm going to change on this is the tank and the rear end. The tank's quite straightforward. I'm looking at a CB600 tank or something old school looking like that. Whether I can get one's another story, but I want a nice big square looking old school tank. So this one will come off and I'll just weld some new lugs on and get the new one on. That isn't so much of an issue. The issue is going to be with the rear end, because at the minute I've got all this plastic on there and I've got the subframe and I've got all this electronics in there. There's a water bottle there. I mean, all that's got to be shifted up and moved out the way. So I've got to find new locations for these things or find some smaller ones. So the hardest thing is going to be this rear end to modify. So the hardest thing is going to be the thing I'm really looking forward to. So what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to take all these plastics off, see what's underneath, and then I can write a list of jobs that I need to do on this bike. I'm going to put a whiteboard on the wall in a couple of days' time, write all the jobs that I need to do so I can tick them off as I go along, and then I can start writing all the parts and all the modification parts that I need, and then I can say, start ordering them up and we'll go down to Ian's and pick them off the shelf as and when we need them. So let's get this plastic off, get all this mess off the back and see what it looks like, and then we'll wait for another day when we take the tank off and maybe line some new parts up, and just to get a rough idea what it's going to look like when it's finished. So I think that's it for today. I've got the rear end off. If you notice in that time lapse there, I had a crowbar on the rear end. That's because someone had, on the undertrad, put araldite under there, so I couldn't get to the nuts, and even if I could, they wouldn't have undone. So hopefully that's the last time I'm going to use a crowbar on this bike. But that's given me a good idea, looking around the bike, we've had it running, of all the parts I'm going to need for the basics and all the parts I want to get it to look like a Scrambler. So in the next episode, we'll put a whiteboard on the wall, we'll list down all the parts that we need to supply, and we'll get all those in. Yeah, we may then get the tank off and potentially cut this rear end off, because from here backwards, that's all coming off. So I've got all this master cylinder and these electrics to do something with. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet. But as I say in the first part of this video, I'm going to be making it up as I go along. So I apologise to you Honda Hornet purists out there that are absolutely spitting feathers at the screen at the minute, because I'm chopping this, what looked like quite a decent bike apart. But come on, it's a machine. These things are meant to be played with. It's going to look a lot better than it did before, in my opinion. I'm hoping to do this bike justice. I'm not just cutting it up and destroying it. So apologise to you guys out there. So I hope you enjoyed that part number 1 of the Honda Hornet transformation. There's going to be plenty more parts coming up. And like I say, I'm going to try and do them once a week if I can. But hit that subscribe button and then hit the notification bell. And every time I put a video up of the Hornet, of its progress, you'll get notified and you'll be able to watch it. But until then, until the next episode, see you in the next one. Cheers.